Let's get right into it. What we're looking at today isn't just a fossil. Think of it more like a biological data file, a perfect snapshot from a world that vanished 99 million years ago. And this entire story, it hinges on a single, incredible piece of amber.
So set the scene. It's 2015 Myanmar. A scientist named Lida Xing is wandering through a busy market. He comes across this one little piece of amber. Nothing special, really. Everyone else had just walked right by it. He thought it was a neat little souvenir.
The seller? He told him it was just a piece of a plant trapped inside.
But it wasn't a plant, not even close. Back in the lab under a microscope, that so-called root turned out to be 8 fossilized vertebrae attached to the fluffy, feathered tail of a 99-million-year-old dinosaur.
A find like this, it just changes everything. You have to forget those old images of giant scaly monsters. This little time capsule, this biological archive, it gives us something so much more real. It's a tiny, feathered shadow of an animal that was actually soft and maybe even a little fluffy.
And here's why this is such a game changer. This little 1.4-inch specimen is a massive scientific first. We are not looking at an impression left in rock. We are analyzing the actual biological material, the soft tissue, the feathers of a non-avian dinosaur for the first time ever. So you gotta ask, who did this tail belong to? Well, CT scans and microscopic analysis have given us a pretty clear profile. It was a young Coelurosaur, a small meat-eating predator. And get this, it's from the same big family as Tyrannosaurus. The evidence is pretty clear that this poor little hunter was still alive when it got trapped in that sticky tree resin.
The feathers themselves, though, that's where the story gets really interesting, because these are not the kind of advanced feathers you see on a bird today. Nope. What we have here is more like a lost draft from the playbook of evolution.
And you can see that draft right here. On the left, you've got the dinosaur's feathers. See how they're kind of flexible and bristle-like? They didn't have that strong central shaft, the rachis. They were probably for keeping warm, or maybe for show. Now look at the modern bird feathers on the right. A totally different story. They've got that rigid shaft, interlocking parts. They are perfectly engineered for flight. It's a snapshot of evolution, right there in the amber.
And because we have the real deal, not just a fossil, we can figure out things like its color. Using high-res spectroscopy, scientists figured out the original pigment. The top of the tail was this rich chestnut brown, while the bottom was a pale white. That's classic camouflage, you know? It's called countershading, and it would have been perfect for a small predator trying to stay hidden in a Cretaceous forest.
But you know what? Our little dinosaur wasn't the only thing trapped in this golden prison. When we zoom in, right onto the feathers, we find some uninvited guests. And suddenly we go from the epic scale of dinosaurs to the tiny scale of their really annoying problems.
Everybody, meet Mesophtheris angeli. It's basically an ancient version of modern-day lice. And these tiny little hitchhikers were caught red-handed in the middle of a meal on these dinosaur feathers almost 100 million years ago. And when I say tiny, I mean it. These things were just 0.2 millimeters long, practically invisible, but preserved down to the last detail.
They had these strong little jaws for biting and specialized legs just for gripping onto feathers. And this is the part that makes it all so real. It proves that even a fearsome dinosaur from a lost world had the same mundane, itchy problems as a pigeon or your family dog. It just makes them feel startlingly close, doesn't it?
But there's still another layer to peel back in this biological archive, and that's the chemical signature of blood, hidden away in the soft tissue.
So, scientists used these incredibly powerful X-ray scanners, and they picked up tiny traces of iron inside the tail. Now, this wasn't just random minerals. It was the leftover chemical signature of hemoglobin. You know, the protein in blood that carries oxygen? This was the smoking gun that proved the tissue was fresh when it got trapped. Which, of course, brings us to the one question everybody asks, the big Hollywood question. If we have preserved tissue and we have traces of blood, can we bring it back? Okay, let's just be absolutely clear about this. The answer is a firm, definite no. This is where we need a little dose of DNA sobriety. The laws of physics put a hard limit on this stuff. DNA, the blueprint for life, has a shelf life. Under the best case scenario, it's totally gone in about 1.5 million years. This tail is 99 million years old. We are so far past the expiration date, it's not even a conversation. The wonder isn't what we can clone, the wonder is what was preserved at all.
So what's the big picture? Every one of these amazing amber fossils is like finding a lost page from a book we thought was completely destroyed.
It's like we're cosmic archaeologists, slowly piecing together a world that nature itself tried to erase. Ultimately, this little 1.4-inch piece of treasure is a huge reminder that sometimes the smallest, most overlooked details are the things that tell the biggest and most profound stories about life and where we all come from.
It's a direct link to a violent ancient past, a data file pulled from an archive we never knew existed. Welcome to Point Zero.